In a desperate attempt to secure victory, the necromancer deity unleashes an unexpected weapon, the formidable power of reincarnation magic. In a world where magic is an inseparable part of existence, a fearless legendary hero confidently strides through a group of trembling soldiers. Deep within a dungeon, a series of magical circles materialize weapons that swiftly annihilate the soldiers, reducing them to nothingness in mere seconds. Upon receiving news of the hero's arrival, the captain commands his troops to retreat, fully aware that they stand no chance against the fearsome necromancer. The hero's legend is widespread, for he serves as the church's covert weapon, having narrowly escaped death on countless occasions. Undeterred, the hero presses on, resolute in facing the creature lurking within the chamber veiled by a shroud of fog. Renowned for his unparalleled ability to vanquish calamity-level monsters, the legendary hero, Shagrua, prepares for an epic clash against the necromancer god of corpses, a battle that promises to be the most monumental of the century. As the corpse god hurls black lightning toward him, Shagrua effortlessly deflects the onslaught, leaving his support team awestruck by his unmatched power. The anticipation of the outside world reaches a trembling crescendo as the corpse god summons the dead, endangering the very balance of the realm. Empowered by magic, the hero enhances his speed and charges towards the god, resulting in a fierce confrontation. Despite the hero's apparent disadvantage due to the god's rapid regeneration, he deftly dodges the god's sword attacks launched through the same magic. The battle reaches a stalemate as the god collects the souls of the departed, forming a massive sphere that draws closer, sapping the soldiers' will to fight. The descending souls seem to offer sustenance to the god, further complicating the already arduous task for the hero. Undeterred by the god's actions, Shagrua focuses his immense magical prowess and cleaves the god-summoned Death Wyvern in two with his colossal enchanted sword. His support group understands the pivotal role the legendary hero plays in ensuring victory, for failure would result in the consumption of the world by the corpses. Despite their doubts, one young girl remains unwavering in her confidence, firmly believing in the hero's inevitable success. Just as the hero begins to gain the upper hand, the god employs his necromancer magic to assemble a horde of skeletons, challenging the hero's resolve. However, the girl's unwavering spirit persists, convinced that the hero cannot be defeated. As he fights on, his eyes undergo a transformation, their color shifting, triggering memories of his past, every battle fought, every razed village, and every life lost in his name. The slain souls haunt the hero, cursing him. The ability known as the Evil Eye allows its wielder to perceive the departed souls, or shades. The evil god also possesses this power. Those burdened with the Evil Eye often seek refuge in the church or succumb to the temptation of manipulating shades, becoming necromancers like the corpse god. Though the hero employs fire magic, it proves ineffective against the overwhelming horde of skeletons, forcing him to switch to close combat. Yet, the sheer numbers begin to overwhelm him. In a decisive move, he employs his magic to leap high into the air and unleashes a colossal fireball toward the ceiling, burying the god and the skeletons beneath its inferno. Landing a successful strike on the god reveals its true form, a jar of brains. The god perceives all life as mere playthings, reveling in the anguished cries of the souls it has claimed. The hero comprehends this, but he distinguishes himself from the god. While people persist in slaying one another, the evil god assumes the role of the Grim Reaper, accumulating piles of lifeless bodies. Out of the blue, the god summons a sequence of sigils, leaving the hero perplexed by an unfamiliar spell. The god intends to bring their battle to a definitive end. In response, the hero gathers every ounce of power and receives additional boosts from his support. With a daring leap, he charges towards the god, slashing through the spell and triggering a massive explosion that fills the sky. Suddenly, the hero's mind becomes clouded, and he struggles to recall the details of the battle. Unbeknownst to him, in their final clash, the corpse god employed the powers of reincarnation magic. Disoriented and weakened, the hero grapples to regain his bearings, hindered by a wound that makes speaking arduous. Everything around him, from the walls to the flooring, appears entirely unfamiliar. Slowly, he manages to rise and follows the source of light. Stepping out into a bustling street adorned with strange buildings and faces, he finds himself in awe of the novelty. He stands there, absorbing the sights and sounds. Unexpectedly, a drone spots him, leaving its operator, a hitman, stunned by the boy's survival. Swiftly informing his team of their failed mission, despite previously confirming the boy's demise, the hitman is just as perplexed as the boy himself. He puts his team on standby, grappling with the mystery of how the boy can move normally despite suffering a throat wound. As the boy examines the recorded footage, he discerns no traces of magic and wonders about his current location. Gazing out at the bustling city, he finds fascination in observing people living their lives harmoniously, leading him to believe this may be a land untouched by conflict. However, memories of his own world plague him, evoking concerns about its future in his absence. As the approaching police officers approach him, the boy, now named Polka, feels bewildered and disoriented. Initially struggling to comprehend their language, he gradually pieces together their words. Drawing upon the linguistic knowledge stored in his new body's brain, he manages to convey that he is unharmed and introduces himself as Polka. The officers become concerned upon noticing the blood on his clothes. Suddenly, a girl jumps onto his head, ecstatic at the sight of his survival. She takes hold of his hand and pulls him away from the perplexed officers. Polka, overwhelmed by the strangeness of it all, has no choice but to follow her. They rush through the alleyway until they come to a halt. The girl, named Misaki, asks Polka if he remembers her, introducing herself as his past acquaintance. As Polka's memories slowly resurface, he recognizes Misaki's smiling face. Suddenly, she lifts him up, shakes him, and tosses him into the air, confirming his warmth and vitality. Polka expresses his gratitude, but before he can finish speaking, Misaki reveals a bloody crowbar, disclosing that she was his original assailant. Misaki herself is bewildered by Polka's survival after she had impaled him with the crowbar previously. As Polka recollects the memories, he realizes that Misaki is indeed the one who tried to kill him and swiftly dashes away. Observing these events unfold, the hitman is left questioning the motives behind targeting a mere 16-year-old boy. Nevertheless, he acknowledges that a job is a job and determines that this time, the boy must stay deceased to secure his payment. Exhausted, Polka musters every ounce of strength to flee. Polka finds himself unable to perceive any traces of magic in the environment or communicate with spirits. The body he occupies possesses minimal magical essence, rendering him incapable of even healing his physical wound. Aware that a fatal injury could lead to permanent death, he strives to avoid Misaki as she tracks him down. Misaki admires his agility and seems to relish the chase. Polka can anticipate her movements, but his physical limitations hinder his abilities. He gazes longingly at the tranquil world he yearns for, but Misaki's dagger lands a decisive blow, halting his progress. Undeterred, Polka refuses to surrender easily. Surprisingly, Misaki is impressed by his resilience and even feels a hint of intimidation, sensing a potential attraction to him. Polka cautiously steps into a dimly lit room, uncertain of its purpose. Misaki, closely following him, reveals that it was once a notorious execution site for the Yakuza, a place she favors. The area is rumored to be haunted by ghosts and gangsters, deterring most people from venturing near. As Polka settles within, he calmly asserts that he can perceive them, even with his current body, as the power of the evil eye extends beyond mere eyesight and cognitive capabilities. Misaki is bewildered by his words, but Polka advises her to value life more. Drawing upon the energy of the surrounding souls, Polka creates a massive sigil, just as Misaki lunges at him. In response, Polka summons a colossal hand that swiftly dispatches her. The hitman observes the entire spectacle through his drone. In his former world, the legendary hero stands victorious as the brain encased in the jar, the corpse god, finally meets defeat. He is certain that the god's teleportation magic took effect moments before its demise, although the fleeting nature of the god's soul prevents him from confirming whether he truly succeeded in vanquishing the necromancer god. The supporter relays a report from the church, stating that all traces of the god's soul have vanished, allowing the hero to be certain of saving the world. Polka recovers his memories and realizes that he is not the reincarnated hero, but rather the corpse god himself. He expresses gratitude to Misaki for leading him to a place brimming with magical power, where he can finally attain a peaceful existence. He envisions becoming the true harbinger of death in this new world. Initially, he plans to continue his battle against his assassin until he realizes the undeniable truth: she is deceased, not merely feigning slumber. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more anime videos.